Electric buses are the worst and dumbest idea Dr. Bawumia has ever had. Let me explain. By the way, someone should tag Sawami here. She's the reason why I made this entire video. Ghana low-key has a transportation crisis. Recently, several videos have surfaced of people struggling to get a car to and from work every day. This is the situation in Ghana, especially in Accra. Most people can't afford to buy a car, and the high cost of imports will shock you to the core, so you can't even buy a cheap used one from abroad. So the vast population of people depend on public transport. In Ghana, we have two forms of public transport: rail and roads. Our rail system is trash, absolute shit, and we'll come back to that later. There's only one train running from Tema to Accra, so we all depend on the road system. Specifically, taxis and buses. Taxis are usually really expensive, so the average person uses the buses. The popular ones are the trotro system. Trotro is a lifesaver, but they are pretty shit too. So in 2016, then President Mahama had a solution. In 2016, as part of a desperate bid to win the affections of Ghanaians, President Mahama introduced the Ayo Rapid Bus System into the country, funded by 4 institutions. Ultra-modern, fully air-conditioned transit buses that will help with the transport issue in Ghana.
I believe that this is the beginning of good things to come. Every modern city needs a modern public transport system that can service all categories of people.
Well, fast forward, Mahama loses the 2016 elections and post his loss. The Ayo bus system was effectively abandoned, left rotting in the parking lots.
Why?
Well, the smart cards needed to actually use the buses, people couldn't even get some. And in 2020, drivers went on strike for not being paid for several months. Ayo was effectively useless to Ghanaians, and our transport crisis raged on.
Let him cook! Let him cook now!
Fast forward 2024, as part of his campaign bid, Dr. Bawumia started peddling the idea of adding more buses to the current system. And to differentiate himself from everyone else, he decided that we should enter into the future with electric buses instead of diesel. And recently, he had hundreds of them delivered to the country to show his commitment to making the lives of Ghanaians better. This sounds good on paper. They are efficient, cost-effective, and good for the environment. But in practice, these buses are a really stupid idea for 4 reasons. Number 1, cost. A regular Chinese bus like the U-Turn can cost anywhere from $19,000 to $100,000, but an EV bus can cost twice that price. The ones that were imported into the country, the Ankai 35-seater, cost up to $190,000. Whose money are they using for that? Furthermore, though they don't need fuel, they need to be charged, and since they are commercial vehicles, they need to be charged all the time. And if alternative sources of power is not found for them, we are going to be putting more stress on our power grid. But this is nothing compared to our next challenge: stupid EV problems. Electric vehicles, just like their petrol and diesel counterparts, have their own share of problems. And because Ghana is not the first country to implement them, we can see all the other problems that come with them. Electric buses have been known to randomly catch on fire and burn into ashes due to heat. And I don't know if you've noticed, but Ghana has a lot of heat. And an electric car fire is not like any other car fire. Because of the battery inside, it burns hotter and longer than any other vehicle, reaching 2,700 degrees Celsius. If it takes 1 fire truck to quench a normal bus fire, it will take more than 20 trucks to quench an electric bus fire. And knowing the sad state of our emergency response services, we can't afford that right now. Number 3, continuity. Just like how Ayo buses were left to rot by the government, it is more than likely that a Mahama or a Cheddar-led government might abandon the EV buses too. This is the tradition in Ghana. There is no continuity after change of government. Even if Bawumia himself wins, nothing will happen to this project. Projects are started for the next government to leave it. So someone will ask, Kojovi, if EV buses are not the solution, well, what is? Well, trains. Every modern city should have a functioning rail system to transport people, so much more investment should be put into both long and short distance railways. Short distance overhead and trolley systems should be there to carry people from point A to point B, so that the trotro will just be an alternative that we use. The roads that have been built are great, but we should have built rail and trolley bus lines along to help ease traffic and move people. And over long distances, we should have high-speed rail. With that, someone can live at Bolga and still come to work at Osu in just 1 hour. This is what they have in Japan. This will allow more people to move to other areas outside of Accra and still work in Accra, bringing much needed development to those areas and relieving the congestion and high price of rent in Accra from the youth. These are practical solutions that we can do instead of spending money on stupid projects like this that are only meant for winning elections.